Hello my angels and devils and all who may wander here. I am Amanda Christina. This is Heavenly Imaginings and this is a little overdue, but this is my very first tutorial with some Beebeecrafts products, namely this beading string, which is amazing. It's super strong. And I thought rather than using the wax thread, which I have uses for, I just wanted to try and make these little books, and sometimes the wax thread is a little bit too much. But here, I'll show you the first two of these that I made. Now these were not made using Beebeecrafts. These are just made using Project Life cards with some paper covering the bit that wasn't relevant to what this was, and then some paper, and I have just hand stitched these together. And the paper covers that hand stitching, so you're not actually seeing the hand stitching on this one, so which is why I didn't go back and back stitch it, because you weren't going to see it. These are part of a wedding album I am working on. I thought it would be nice for the bride and groom to have some little spots to journal their memories in, or to have family and friends maybe write down a little memory or two. So that's those. Now these are the ones I made using Beebeecrafts. Now these are using actual Project Life cards. I think it's called... it's like an afternoon tea or something. But I did these in two different ways. One is super easy and the other one is not much more difficult. So these came with chipboard in them. So basically this is the sewn one. I've done these using, and I've pre-prepped the ones that I've got to do as in cut things, because just to make the tutorial go a bit better, they've got tracing paper and cartridge paper in them, and this one is stitched the way you would stitch a journal, and this one is even simpler. It is literally just wrapped around and you can slide your papers in and out, so if you want to change them easily you can. And I've just used bits from that. I honestly can't think what the Project Life pack is, but I have some bits here. I have a couple of little bits of chipboard to use. Now what you want with your Project Life cards is you want them to be something you can fold in half relatively easy. Now if you can't, if it's not a design that's easy to fold in half, or there's something that, you know, there's a sentiment or something that you don't, words you don't really need, you can always come over and add a little bit of pattern paper to cover that over and to create your own look. I really liked these two for this, however I did pull out this one as well, so we have a few options. Oh, and this one. So as you can see, all the ones I've pulled out have a pattern where I can fold it this way. Because if you're going to try and fold it this way, you're going to end up with a long book, and there's nothing wrong with that. But for this look, we want this. And then they've all got fairly simple things on the inside. So as I said, we're going to do both, and I probably should have folded these first, but I've pre-cut these. Now these are 6x4. So these are 6x4 journaling cards, so Project Life cards or journaling cards. And these are cut to 5.5 by 3.5. So that, and then all you do is you fold. It's easier to fold each piece, and as I said, I should have done this pre-prep, but I didn't, and I think sometimes I already cut them and I did a lot of pre-prep. So what I'll do is I'll sit here and I'll just fold all these while I'm talking to you. It is a very simple project. Now, the thing that I started doing these little books for was I thought, how nice would it be to have like a little journal or somewhere to write things in an album, but you don't want it to take up too much room. And it's nice to have, like, sometimes, you know, we don't have the best handwriting, or, you know, we don't want everyone to see everything. So, you know, if for example, you're going to write something really personal in that, like that might be just a memory, say for the wedding album, it might be a memory just for the bride and their husband, or the husband for the bride. You can pop those little books out before you show anyone the album, and then just pop them back into place once you've, you know, shown people, which I thought was really cool. I just thought it was a really nice idea, and it's a really nice look. I know so many of us have Project Life cards or journaling cards where we just don't like them and we don't want to use them, or, you know, we tend to hold on to them, or, you know, they might have the wrong sentiment or the wrong design, and you can just cover that easily, so easily with paper. What I will say though is if you are covering one with paper, like fully covering it, make sure you actually cover it before you fold it. Otherwise, you'll get like a little, it's not a big deal, but you will get like a little, yeah, see, I don't know if you can see here. It's only a very minimal lip there. But sometimes, yeah, this one's bigger. So if it'll focus, it doesn't like me coming up close so you can really see it. But you can kind of see it from here where you have that ridge. So it's just, it works out better. However, as I said, these ones were covering the stitching, so that is not such a big deal. Now, this tracing paper I got from Lincraft, really, really cheap. I was really surprised. 20 pieces for like $3. And you could even use it in place of vellum. It's got a really nice consistency. It's got a nice thickness to it that you sometimes don't get with all your vellum, but it does have a sort of vellum weight to it, so you could probably do vellum with it as well. Okay, so we've got everything folded, and I'll move these out of the way, and we will go with, I don't know why, but I really love this rainy day one. I just do. So I'm going to pick this one. And I'm going to pick the fruit one because I actually bought out a piece of chipboard to go with the fruit one. So we'll just pop the chipboard decoration to one side. This one I'm not going to worry about decorating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this one in half. And you're just matching it edge to edge. So we're folding it in half. Just doing this. And what you should really do is just get these all together for a second and just run your bone folder along them just to give them a really nice crisp fold. And then what I'm going to do is with all of them, for some reason I've started with a tracing paper, then I've popped in a couple of pieces of the parchment paper, cartridge paper. Now this cartridge paper is the kind for a sketch pad, so these could easily be little sketchbooks or something. Yeah, I have the words to want to say something else, but I can't right now. For anyone who's wondering, yes, we are doing Amp It Up August again this year. I'm so excited. I really am. I'm so excited that most of the ladies have come back. A couple can't at the moment, and that's okay. So now you have this. Now you have two options. You can sew it, which is super easy. Now, you can poke your holes in pre-doing it. I don't. I just don't. I don't know. I think depending on what you're doing and how many pages, this is probably about the maximum pages I would say you can get away with without. And you just want to make sure you're coming up through the center, as close to the center as you can. And you want to work it. Now this needle came from this packet, the handy needle assortment, because I couldn't use this thread in the self-threading needles. That's the only reason. And actually I know the self-threading needles I will try another time, but right now, so what you're going to do is you're going to pull that through. You're going to put your finger on the end piece because you don't want that to come through. Then you're going to pick the place where you kind of want to come up here. You want to make sure you've got a little bit of room. Sorry, I'm pulling this out of your way, which is not good. And of course my lighting is going, and I am here. Move this down a bit. So we're going to go here, pull up again, through, hold your tail. Make sure your paper's not... Now, you can clip this if you want to make sure it doesn't move. There really isn't enough in here for me to worry about that not being... And I'm not a perfectionist, but if you wanted to, you could easily put a couple of bulldog clips or some paper clips around this before you started sewing. I tend to be a bit, I guess, lackadaisical with this and not really too stressed about it. So now I am just pushing through the paper, coming out there, coming through, making sure we're not going to get caught up here, and then we get caught on the edge of the paper, pulling through, and then we're coming like you would if you were sewing a journal, come back through that middle hole, if I can find it. Where are you, middle hole? Let me see. Okay. Come on. Okay, it came up just a little bit beside, but you get the idea. And then what we're going to do is pull it, make sure it's nice and tight. You tuck one tag, one piece under here, one piece over, like you would for any journal, and then we're just going to tie a knot. And it's that simple. That barely took any time. You saw me doing that in real time. If you want to, you can pull out your awl and push through to make your holes. I do it for some things. I don't do it for others. Because these are just small little books, I haven't bothered. But if you wanted to do it, you can easily do it. And I've just done an extra bit of knotting because, and I'm going to leave a bit of string so that if I want to add like a couple of little clouds or something. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, again, with my bone folder, come along and just make sure that will close nicely. And there you go. You've just made a very simple little book. I probably wouldn't necessarily do a triple knot again. I think double knot is fine for there. That's a little bit thick. So that's what's holding your book open a little. That's it. Now you can decorate that how you want. You can pop it in a album, in a journal, or you can send it to someone as just a little pocket sketchbook. So now we're going to do the other one, which is no sewing. Okay, so the sewing was pretty easy, right? But sometimes we're not confident in our skills, and that's okay. Sometimes we need to work up to the big sewing thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this card over. We're going to just run my bone folder along here. And then I am going to open up my pages and put them together. Now, I've just done 5 pages for this because I want these to be small little books. I don't want them to be super full. You can add extra paper. If you were doing, for example, copy paper, I would probably say you could probably do up to 10 sheets quite comfortably. Now they're all in. You're not always going to get everything all nice and neat at the edges. I don't stress about that, but if it is a worry, you can just trim that off. Honestly, it just depends on how much of a perfectionist you are or how you like things. I kind of like the rustic look because to me it is, you know, you're hand making something, and the point of handmade is the imperfections make it something extra special because you know someone has taken the time to make it. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to pop this one in here. We're going to grab some thread. And you get so much of this thread, you can definitely share this or, you know, so what we're going to do is we're going to go around from the center, go around. I think I just took way too much, but I have a habit of doing that. And then we're going to come around, come back into the center and tie your knot. So just in case you missed it, this is so easy. This is, anyone can do this. So we're going to go from the center, make sure everything's sort of lined up nicely, as nice as you can. We're going to go around the edge, come around either side and back into the center. And then we are going to just simply make sure it's all nicely together. We're just going to tie a knot. So this is where sometimes, like if you wanted, I did the other one a little tight. You can do it super tight and it will pull a little bit of the paper. So just be aware of that. If you pull too tight, it will sort of cut through your paper a little bit. And then I'm just going to pull that down, do my other knot, and voila. Straighten that up. We'll just cut this off a little. Okay, and roll that back around. And as you can see, I've done 4 projects with this and it's barely made a dent. I will be doing up some nice little share packs of it. So then you have your little fruit one, which I'm just going to go here and do. And then I have my little, where was it? I had a little fruit for decoration for the front. I've just got some clear craft glue, my favourite Helmar's glue, and then we are just going to pop this on the cover, and voila, you have a little decorated book, perfect to put in your pocket, to add into your traveler's notebook. Like this one has a little thing, so you could definitely hang it from something. So we've done two different styles. One is stitched, one is literally just wrapped around, and they're so easy. Look, I made these last night as just demonstration ones, and then these, as I said, I had started making these before for a wedding album and just for things. So I had some like creamy yellow paper which fits with the theme. So yes, so I hope you will give these a go. Let me know. I will, of course, leave a link to this pack of awesome, they don't call it journaling supplies, but it really is a pack of journaling supplies or mini journal supplies, although there are many, many things you can do with these. So thank you to Beebeecrafts for sending me these products to review. I am loving this thread. This thread is going to fast become one of my favourite things. I am going to make sure at some point, I don't know when, but there will be a tutorial making at least one type of hair bow with this, because it is perfect for hair bows as well. It's super, super, super strong. Anyway, let me know if you're going to give this a try. Do you have project life cards sitting around that you don't quite know what to do with? And remember to check out Beebeecrafts below. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It really means the world. And the usual. Please remember that you are amazing. You are incredible. And yes, louder. No, with more conviction, please. Yes, you really do matter. Bye all.